What's up guys, welcome to my Doom Tower Hard Floor 120 Final Boss Walking Tomb Dreng guide. Let's jump straight in. So what makes Walking Tomb Dreng so great for this is that his A2 has a 100% chance of landing HP burn on all enemies for 2 turns, and it cannot be resisted. This means he doesn't need accuracy built into his kit. On top of that, his A1 attacks 2 times and will instantly activate any HP burn debuffs on the target after attacking. Again, this does not require accuracy to be applied. Now let's talk about the sets that I consider to be the most optimal for Walking Tomb Dreng solo content. Because Walking Tomb Dreng doesn't have any built-in sustain in his kit, it's very imperative that you at least get regen, the extra 15% healing every turn, and it certainly doesn't hurt to have an extra 3% from Immortal as well as the bonus 15% HP. So now that we've gone over the gear sets, let's talk about the stats. For HP, I have just south of 75,000. His attack is irrelevant because his damage scales off HP. For defense, I have 3,689. I would recommend a minimum of 3,500. Speed is 223. More than that is obviously better, and less than that is obviously less better, but this is what I could do with my gear, so that's what I've got. Crit rate and crit damage is pretty much irrelevant for this champion. He does all of his damage through HP burn. Now, if you can get these survivability stats first, and you still have room for more crit rate and crit damage, sure, go for it, but his crit rate and crit damage aren't going to make or break your runs. And for resistance, we have 408. For the final boss of Doom Tower Hard, you need at least 405 to overcome the boss's accuracy. Now that we've got the gear out of the way, let's cover masteries. We're going to start off in the support tree. First up, we have Steadfast, increases his max HP by 810. Then I went down to Exalt in Death, which will heal this champion by 10% of their max HP the first time an enemy is killed in each round. Then we go down to Arcane Celerity, which has a 30% chance of increasing the turn meter by 10% when a debuff cast by this champion is removed or expires. Then we have Lore of Steel, which increases the base stat bonuses of all artifact sets that are increased base stats by 15%. Now this will give him bonus HP from the Immortal set we have. Then I took Evil Eye, which was kind of a whoopsies. He doesn't have enough accuracy to land Evil Eye, but fortunately there's really nothing else on this tier that would benefit us for this build anyway. And we go down to Master Hexer, which has a 30% chance to extend the duration of any debuff cast by this champion for 1 turn. More burns equals more damage. Now let's jump over to the defense tree. I started off with Defiant to increase my resistance by 10, and then I come down to Rejuvenation, which increases the amount of healing and value of shield buffs by this champion by 5%. This will actually increase the healing from Regen and Immortal. And then I have Blastproof here, decreases the damage received from AoE attacks by 5%, just to make them a little less squishy. And then we have Resurgent, which will have a 50% chance to remove 1 random debuff from this champion when they lose 25% or more of their max HP from a single hit. And then I took Bloodthirst, which will heal him by 10% of their max HP when they kill an enemy target, except for boss's minions, and that has a 1 turn cooldown. And then we go down to Delay Death, which will reduce the damage this champion receives from a specific champion by 0.75% with each hit taken from that enemy. Damage reduction stacks up to 6% for each enemy. Then I went down to Retribution, which has a 50% chance to counterattack when this champion loses 25% of their max HP or more from a single hit from an enemy. And then this has no effect on solo content, but it's nice for group content like Waves and Doom Tower Hard. Has a 20% chance to counterattack an enemy, and when they apply a stun, sleep, fear, true fear, freeze, petrification, or sheep debuff on an ally. And then I finished off with Unshakable for plus 50 resistance because I needed the resistance because I couldn't get enough from my gear. If you have enough resistance in your gear and you don't need Unshakable, you can consider taking Oppressor, which will give you turn meter fill by 2.5% for each debuff applied from this champion. Stacks up to 10%, so that'll give you more speed, more turns, more burns, more damage. As far as a AI setup goes, you actually don't need to do anything. It will function perfectly fine, full auto with the default AI. However, I elected to turn off his A3 for the waves and for the boss because it doesn't really do a whole lot. I find that the runs are just faster when he uses his A2 when it's up and uses his A1 when it's not. I hope you found this guide useful, and if not, at the very least, I hope you found it entertaining. If you did, consider leaving a like, because doing so goes a long way towards helping my channel grow. And if you'd like to see more of my content, consider subscribing, because I have new videos coming every week. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you for watching, and until next time, happy raiding.